Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing this wonderful little router. It's a TP-Link TL-WR841N, kind of a mouthful, but basically it's a 300 megabit per second wireless router, or 300N, 2.4 gigahertz for those technically minded. It also has IPQoS, which means quality of service. You can actually throttle the bandwidth to whoever is using the router. It has also has WDS and is Wi-Fi certified. So all the way around, very well rounded router. 100 megabit Ethernet ports on the back, and the kicker, $20. $20 on Amazon. So if you have anything slower than a 300 megabit per second router, for $20 you can crank up your network speed, no problem at all. Now it's not as fast as 450 and all, you know, the higher end routers like I have a 450N, but you know what? None of my wireless clients connect any faster to that one than they do to this one. I've tested this on 2 Roku players simultaneously, well configured for Wi-Fi, and both can stream at full resolution without any issue whatsoever. You know, your results may vary on that if you have a different Wi-Fi optimization. Mine is obviously going to be good. I actually have a video on the Wi-Fi optimization for the Roku, but that's besides the point. I'll link to that later. But once again, $20, 300N. Can't beat that. So I'll take it out of the package, show you the package contents, how to set it up and so on, and basically show you it inside and out. Okay, so I'm going to hook this up, and then I'll show you the light display that you get when you first hook it up. Alright, on the back we have power. So it goes in the power connector. This goes to my cable modem. And any computers that you wanted to wire into it go into the yellow sockets. You can put up to 4 in there, but there's ways to get more. So there we go on that. It's physically connected. Next I'm going to turn the power on, and I'm going to show you the display. As you saw, they all flash forward like that. Then you get a power light. Then you get the WAN light, or the internet light if you want to call it that. That's connected. That shows you get a connectivity between the cable modem and the router. This is your WLAN or wireless indicator, so we have wireless operation right at the moment. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just going to show you a reset, and you do that by holding down the WPS reset button down for, they say 8 seconds, but you'll see all the LEDs flash and then it goes back to power, and that's how you know you've reset it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're right on. And just let it go. And what that does is it returns the router back to its factory default settings. It goes through the same boot up process again. Okay, we're there. Now, nice thing about this router and is that it has what they call the WPS function. Alright, so I'll show you that. That is this button right here. Okay, and basically what you need to do is just when you go to connect to this, Windows will ask you to press this button. Okay, and it's not the Wi-Fi on or off button to the left of it. It's this one right here, closest to the yellow ports. So basically, it's got Windows. When you go and connect to it, it says, "Hey, you can either enter the number that's on the bottom of the unit, or you can just hit that button." So that's what we're going to do. Okay. And I'm going to do that so you can see what the lights do here, and then I'll show it to you on the computer itself. Alright, here's the basic configuration that they want. TP-Link would like you to set up to configure this router for the first time. So basically take their little patch cable. Once you've connected the power and of course your modem or cable modem or DSL modem to the WAN port on the back, like I have right there. Okay. Then just put the patch cord into one of the yellow ports, LAN ports, doesn't matter which one. and the other side into your computer or laptop, like this. Okay, and once you have that configuration set up, you're ready to go. As you can see, I have activity on the modem light and on the number 3 port. Wireless is also blinking away, so it's ready for that, and power's on, of course. Okay, so we'll configure it from this point the way they want it to do. Before you run the quick setup off the CD, it's best to check your network connection. So just go down to your network icon down here, right click it and choose Open Network and Sharing Center. And once you get there, we're going to go to Change Adapter Settings. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're checking that your network connections are configured to get an IP address automatically. So right click your local area connection and then just choose on normal click or left click on Properties. And then go to Internet Protocol version 4 and make sure that the radio button is highlighted on Obtain IP address automatically and Obtain DNS server address automatically. Mine is, yours should be too. Okay, and okay. And let's do the same on the West Network connection. So right click it, choose Properties, go to Internet Protocol version 4 and make sure the radio button is on Obtain IP address automatically and Obtain DNS server address automatically. Click OK, OK, and that should be perfect for your quick setup or your setup of this router from here on. Here's the easy setup method for this router. It basically is drop the CD in the tray. It should automatically run for you, and then you choose the router that you wish, and then you go to the Easy Setup Assistant. I'll show you all this as as a matter of course here. So let's just drop the CD into the tray, and I'm going to close mine and just minimize this out of the way. Now it should auto run for you. If it doesn't auto run for you, just go down to your folder down here. There it is. And I'm going to choose that here and go to your D drive or whatever your CD-ROM drive is. Choose it. Then go to Auto Run and go from there, or go to Easy Setup Assistant and just run the Easy Setup Assistant right there. Okay, but I'm just going to follow the Auto Run. I'm going to click Auto Run there. Okay, we got two options. We have the TL-WR841ND and the N version. I'm using the N. As far as I know, the only difference between the two of them is that the ND has removable antennas and the N doesn't. So basically just choose the one that pertains to your router. Also note that the user guide is down here too as well if you want to read through that. And then click yes. My user account just asked me if I want to run that program. Yours may or may not. Okay, so choose your language. What do we have here? A whole bunch of different ones. I'm just going on English myself. It's up to you. Then we're going to click on Start. And then it shows you the configuration. Connect your computer to the one of the ports. Connect your WAN port to your modem, and connect your power cord. Make sure your on and off buttons to the on position and your power lights are on. And this is the lights you should see. You see the power on, you see WLAN flashing, you should see WWAN or AND on, and LAN 1 through 4 flashing. Depending on which, the only one of the LANs that's going to hook up or light up is the one that you've hooked up to your computer. So, basic, let's go to the next. If you don't have those, I would say power it on again or reset it. Next. So now it checks your router's connectivity, and I'll just do this real time. Okay, network adapter is enabled. Okay, then once that's all checked off, next. This is select your connection type, and the type of connection meaning how do you connect to the internet, the proper WAN, wide area network connection. Most common setup is that you have a cable modem and the IP is given to you automatically. Okay, use this option if you are immediately online once your computer directly plugs into your cable or DSL modem. So if your DSL modem looks like this, then you're off to the races. If you have a static IP, choose this one. If you have PPOE, which requires a username and password, usually you see this on ADSL and DSL modems. L2TP and PTP are all VPN services, which I'm not even going to cover here. So I would just leave it on the most common one here. If you don't know what you have, and click next. MAC clone address. Well, some companies set their routers up in a way that the router will only talk to a specific device, usually the first device you ever plugged into it. So if that's a computer or a router, what you'll need to do is get the MAC address from it and clone it onto this router in order to allow it to go through that modem and actually work. Most people don't have that. If you have a problem connecting to getting a WAN connection, then I would say, yeah, maybe you have this issue. I would reset your router and, in other words, power it down and power down your modem, power up your modem again, let it initialize, and then power up your router to see if it, will hook up to the new MAC address. I know I have to do that with mine, so I would just by default power down your modem and then your router, and in that sequence, and then in this same sequence, power up your modem, let it initialize, and then power up your router and let it connect. If that doesn't make the two talk, then you probably need to do a clone. You need to clone the MAC address, but I'm not going through that. That's on your user guide if you want to see how that's done. Next. Give a name for your wireless SSID. Well, when you're connecting, you can call it whatever you'd like. You can call it My Network. You can call it whatever your family name, whatever. Personally, I would change this because it identifies your hardware, which makes it easier for a hacker to get at. Personally, but it's up to you. I'm leaving it right now by the default because you can change it if you wish. Click on Next. Okay, this is important. Secure your wireless network. Well, there's three methods, right? There's no security, which absolutely don't recommend, which means anybody can connect to your network through wireless. They don't need a password, they don't need anything, they just connect to it. Better security, WEP 128-bit. Yes, it's better, but WEP 128-bit can be cracked. It can be hacked quite easily and compromised, in which case, to me, it's really not much better than no security. Anybody with any ability in hacking and cracking will be able to beat your WEP security. So choose this one, the most secure, WPA2 PSK. Okay, and here you're going to have a default wireless password. It's highly recommended that you set your own. You can use a phrase, you can use a password, any password you wish to change it. This number here usually corresponds to the one on the bottom of your router, the wireless default password. Okay, I would change that just because it's not very secure. Somebody can walk up to your router, look at it, and say, okay, I know his password, I'm going to crack into his network. Okay, so change that. This one's already been changed. I've already changed it. It's not the original, so I'm just leaving it and going next. Okay, confirm your configurations. Well, dynamic IP, normal. Network SSID, well, we set that. All that is good. And here you see, save these settings to a text file on my desktop. I would recommend doing that. That way you remember them all, and you can save the file somewhere else if you wish after you've done that. So click Next. Okay, and there it is right there, router settings. It's a notepad document, and you can change that, move that anywhere you want. Okay, So, okay. Now it's configuring the router. And we'll wait for that to happen. This is the last step actually in configuring your router through the Easy Setup Assistant. Okay, so it says your TP-Link router has been successfully configured. So let's go next. And it shows you how to set up the Wi-Fi protected WPS. The router supports that. It's a really nifty way of hooking up wireless devices to your network. And I will show you how to do that in this, in the next section. Actually, after the method 2 for configuring the router, I'll show you how to set up the Wi-Fi as well. Next. Okay, so congratulations. Your router has been configured to connect to the internet. Enjoy surfing the internet. Click Finish to do so. Now, TP-Link Easy Assistant has completed the basic configuration of the router. For more advanced settings, please log into the web management interface. Now, if you click this here, you'll go to the web management interface, which is something that I'm going to show you how to get to on the next frame. So I'll just click it, see what happens. And it brings up the browser. So like I said, I'll show you how to do that next. And it's going to ask you for a username, and that's admin. So like I said, I'll go through this on the next configuration. Okay, method 2 for setting up the web-based quick setup on this WR841N router is more or less a more manual system, and it's for Mac OS and Linux users as well. Now, also it says for Windows users who cannot run a mini CD. Okay, well, if you can't run the mini CD for some reason, your CD-ROM doesn't read it, whatever. But if you have another computer that has access to the internet, you can download the quick setup file for method 1 at the TP-Link website, and I'll show you that. Go to the TP-Link website, find the router by going to Products, Wireless. Once you get to wireless, you're going to go 300 Mbps wireless N router, and then you'll see it right there. Okay, so click on that. Once you click on that, scroll down, and you will see a download tab here. Click on that, and we're using a version 9. Make sure you use the right utility for your version. Right there is the utility for this quick setup utility for this router. Though it's not really all that obvious, that's where it is. Okay, so if you click on it, it'll take you to a page that gives you gives you this, TLWR841N version 9 Easy Setup Assistant, as you can see here. All right, so it's not all that intuitive to get to it, but it is there. And if you have another computer that you can download on, you can then put it on a flash drive, a thumb drive, or something, and put it into your computer and run it that way. Okay, but if you have none of those abilities to do that, then this is the more or less manual method for doing so. So what we're going to do is follow the directions on this to the T. Now the first thing it says to do here, it says to go to tplinklogin.net. Well, okay, we'll go do that. So http tplogin, okay, tplink, sorry, link login.net. Okay, hit enter, and it's going to ask you for a password. Well, the password is admin. Sorry, it's admin for the username, and admin for the password. Okay, you should end up at the quick setup page. If you did not, just click over here on the quick setup tab and it will bring you to the quick setup. So next we're going to click next. Alright, so quick setup is preparing your internet connection. Choose one of the types below according to your ISP. Once again, same thing, applies. If you don't know what it is, I would just say go with auto detect. If you have a cable modem, more than likely dynamic IP will work. If auto detect doesn't work, choose dynamic IP. And if dynamic IP doesn't work, then call your ISP and tell them what you're trying to do. Maybe they'll walk you through this setup. If you have a DSL modem, you'll have to use the PPOE. Okay, not sure why they say Russian there, but PPOE is for ADSL and DSL modems. So I'm just going to click on auto detect. Let the router automatically detect the internet connection provider, type provider by your ISP. Another nice feature. So next. And we'll wait. Then it obviously has found that I have a cable modem. And as you can see, there's the help over here on the Mac clone, which I've already gone across. I don't need to do a Mac clone, but if you do, then click on this, get your Mac information from the device you had originally connected to your router. A Mac address is actually is actually bound to your network configuration, but usually it's on a sticker on the bottom of whatever device you were connecting to the router. Okay, so as I don't need to do that, we're just going to go next. And now it says wireless setup. Well, these are all the defaults. That's what I'm going to go with. The wireless password is right here. I would recommend that you copy that. As you're going to need it to set up your, you may need it to set up your wireless. Like I said, I'll go through the wireless installation both ways, the WPS way and the non-WPS way. So basically at this point we're going to leave it at this, and then going to click on next. Okay, now you can disable the wireless security if you want everybody in the neighborhood to surf on your router. Don't want that. Most people don't. You can change the wireless password, as you can see down here. You can even make it a phrase if you wish, or you can say no change, use current security settings. Well, I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and go on. Next. Congratulations. Okay, the basic internet settings are now finished, and the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you, is how to hook up to this router through your wireless connection. So click finish here. Alright, and you're back to the status page. Now actually, one of the things you should do is go to your system tools, okay, and then go to password, and this password is basically the username for this router. Now if you have a smart little nephew who's savvy, he may be able to hack your router and using the default password. Okay, not wirelessly, but he'd have to connect through the LAN. But regardless, you may want to change your LAN network, your LAN password for this router. And the way you do that would be just easily here. Obviously, the old username is admin. The old password is admin, as we know, because those are the defaults. And then just put whatever you'd like in here. New username, new password, and then confirm the password. Okay, and then you're off to the races. You have, again, remember these settings. Okay. Now, if you happen to forget the router password after you've changed it, as far as I know, the only way to get back into it is to do a hardware reset by hitting your reset button for longer than 8 seconds, and then that resets your router back to default, and you need to go through the configuration again. Okay, so at this point, you're basically done. configuring this router. Okay, connecting wirelessly to this router is fairly basic and easy, and it should be, because the easiest way to do this is through WPS. So I'm going to open up the network manager here, and you'll see that right there, that's the TP-Link 2295D7E, and all you got to do is just double click that, and it says, oh, okay, you want to connect to this, and it either gives you the option to put the security key in, or just hit the WPS button next to the last port on the back of the router, which is also the reset button. So just click it once and just be a little patient. And there we go. It's getting the settings from the router itself. Nice feature. Excellent that it works that way. Okay, this is Windows 7, so it's WPS is built into it. Hopefully all your hardware supports it, but there we go, we're connected. Okay, and that's about all there is to connecting wirelessly on this router. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's go to status here, and you'll notice I'm connected to 300 megabits per second. Excellent speed, and signal quality is 5 bars, but regardless, I'm right next to the router, so I should be getting that kind of speed. Okay, well, while WPS may be a great option for setting up your wireless connection, it may not always come up. Even though Windows 7 is natively available to support that feature, let's go take a look and see what my Windows says right now. It says connections available. I have unplugged the LAN cable from the computer, and as you can see, there's the TP-Link. Right, so we're going to double click on that, and it's going to try and connect. And as you can see on this window, we don't get a WPS button on the bottom to click to make things really easy. It's asking for the security key. Well, if you don't remember what that is, you can get it off the bottom of your router, or you can go to your router settings that you saved with the easy setup, and just go to network security key, highlight it, and right click it, choose copy, and paste it in there. Okay, and hit OK. Okay, so now it's saying connecting, and now it says connected. So at this point, you should be able to browse the internet using just Wi-Fi, not the LAN cable. And let's just test that out. Go to and as you can see, I can search Google. So basically, we know that we're on the net and surfing. Okay, so choose what you want to do, Gmail, whatever. At this point, you're on the internet. Now, another thing you may want to do here, just quickly, just go to www.speedtest.net. Basically, it loads up, and you may want to see how fast your connection is. Okay. Now, first time you go there, like it's kind of slow, but after that, the actual test itself is right there. Click Begin Test, and off you go. It'll tell you how fast your internet connection is, which is kind of a handy thing to know. Okay, so we're just not going to go through that. We're just going to let it go here. Well, here we go. Starting. Okay, and as you can see, I have a 15 megabit per second connection. Varies here and there. It is cable modem, so anyway, that's where you go to test your speed on the internet. One more thing I'm going to add, and because I know I'm going to be asked, will the DDWRT software go onto this router? Yes, it will. Okay, it is a version 9, and it has the ability to flash the TP-Link TL-WR841 version 9, as you can see over here. Make sure you get the right firmware for your router. And the major caveat or asterisk or highlight for this, doing this, there's no way to flash it back from this. Once you go to the DDWRT web flash bin, you cannot flash it back. At least as much as I can tell, there is no factory revert, a web revert back to the original firmware. So if you flash this router with this firmware, you'll have to understand that there's no way to get it back to, currently anyways, to get it back to its original firmware, as far as I know. So I take no responsibility for that. Just wanted to answer the question before anybody asked it. Yes, DDWRT can be installed on this router, but you're stuck there once you've done it. Thanks.